welcome to another session of this Android Study Jam. Today's very important concept we are going to discuss is user input and how to display it in list views. So let's start. Hope you're enjoying everything. Yep. So I have created an empty activity over here. You can see there's nothing. It's all empty. Now in the previous session, you have seen how we have used text view, then buttons and image views. Today we're going to see how to use the edit text. If you go here, there's another option called this plain text. Okay, all of these things, passwords, emails, phones, they are basically the same. Just the only difference is the input type. So I'm showing just the only one thing, and I'll show how to use all other things using that only. So you can drag and drop this thing here. Let's constrain them to the left, to the right, from the top as well. Let's drag them. So these are just the text user can input something. Their keyboard will pop up and they can input whatever they want. So let's make it a little bit more. So match constraint. Yes. From the left, let's put a 30 dp margin from left, 30 dp from the right. And I think that let's use the size also. In edit text, you will find there are two types of text. One text is what the user will input, and the other text is called hint. So hints are basically just like entered name. So the user will understand that this is the text field, they have to enter the name. So they will go to this text field, enter their name. So while the user is typing something, the hints will disappear. So those are called hints. So you can put hints from here. Where that hint section? Text at first, put the text as nothing. Text will be blank at first, empty. But I want hint at first. Hint. Yes, here is the hint option. You can put hint like enter name. So this is basically very simple edit text. Okay, this is the equivalent XML file you see. Let's try to run it and see what happens. So let's run it. I think I have to reconnect again. Is complete and the app is launching. Again, from here you can see. So this is the first text that you see is the hint. When you press something and start typing, it disappears. So this is basically edit text. And this is what it actually. There's nothing else. Okay, let's make it something. Let's give it a smart. It's not showing up here. Something is not working right. Oh, the width should be matched. Why this one? That's the mistake I used to. App install. You can write email your name, like Sam, whatever you want. Now let's go to the folder file, extract the text or how to get the text that the user has input. First thing, just give it some any ID you want. Anything from CT name you want, you can give it as ID. Now you know to extract it's very easy. Name, get text. Store it some variable. So you got the text the user has input. Let's show it in a nice toast. You see, when the let's make a button at first. Let's make a button. The WhatsApp button, you can pick any one of them. This like this. Make it match parent. Match parent. Give some margins. 50 degrees from the right and increase the height also. So I told you earlier this button has got some problem. Remove this button and type right button. Some options. From there choose this app compile button. The previous one has got some problems. And give background color to this color. You can use any color. I have used this material blue, no shoes. You can give the text color also. Text color. Suppose and then we're good to go. Give it some ID, suppose. Button submit. Give some name to the text, suppose submit. It's a quite nice button. So let's go to get back to our Kotlin folder. On clicking the text, on clicking the button, I want to get the text from this text field and display it in the form of a suppose a pop-up message, very small pop-up message. How to do that? So we have mentioned the ID of this button. This is the ID. We can access it from here very easily. So the same ID you have to use submit dot set on click listener. So what happens when the button is clicked, right? It shows some suggestions. This parenthesis you cannot use, it's your choice. Now put this input text into here. So on button clicked, I am to get the text from this text field and display it in the form of a small toast message, suppose. So what is a toast? I'm showing you. Just like toast. Text. What it takes, you can see very easily. You can just control click. It shows you. It takes on context, one string, and another one is it's an int. The duration. So at first it takes. So it takes at first the context. In Android, context means the reference to the activity where we're using it. So currently we're using this main activity. So context means an object of this main activity. You can say, so you can use this. Yeah. Better to use the reference of the class at first like main activity at the rate this. So this is an object of this current class. After that, we need a string is written. So string is this one. So let's write input text and the duration. Duration, suppose we want to show it for right. Post short. And we'll show this. So toast is a very small message. This message will get displayed for a short interval of time. Let's see what happens. Still running. is let's get back to our app. So the current app that we have, let's try to enter some name. Suppose that entering suppose GDSC. Now clicking on this button, I have written that I am to display this toast message. How this toast message gets displayed. Button and a beautiful toast message gets displayed. For short interval of time, you can mention a long also, short also, whatever you want. That was very easy. So let's do something. We have one activity, main activity. Let's create another activity. And by clicking the button, let's navigate between this from this activity to the next. So let's create an activity. Come over here, right click, new, and there is many options. Here you will find an activity. Now in activity, many options don't look for anything else. We want an empty activity. We'll do everything from scratch. So create an empty activity. Give any name you want. Name it second activity. Second activity. Yeah. Second activity. Okay, language is Kotlin. Is language. So language Kotlin. This. As you all know, activity has all two components. One is code and is the output. This activity. This is this activity. Main activity has 45 design file. The second activity created also has this 14 file and design file. Very simple. Okay, it is loading. Let it load. So for the time being, let's say we had clicked on the button. We had extracted text from this edit text, displayed a toast message, and let's navigate to the second activity we have created. How to do that? In Android, the navigation between activities is controlled by intent. So we'll write an intent. Intent. Oh, it is written in this way in Kotlin. Sorry, val intent equal to intent. In bracket, you have to pass the. Let's write it again. Intent. It will show you the options. Now in bracket, you have to pass which activity you want and to which activity you want to go. So your source activity is this activity. So like main activity, we're currently in this main activity. And which activity we want to go? We want to go to the second activity. It shows you the option activity. Now here's the catch. You have to write second activity class. This first option you go. You see this first option is class.java and then it's class the first option. There is class. Yeah. Although you're writing in Kotlin, I know this is weird that this Java extension is there, but Kotlin has not been able to give up completely Java because internally it still runs on JVM. So there's no way of giving up on this. So we have created intent. We are currently at this main activity. We want to go to this second activity. And now start this. Lots of noise from outside. So we have created an intent and we want to, we have started this intent. Lots of noise. Just run this app. Between activities. Activity, where is the same page we have landed in? This is the main activity. We enter something. Say John. On pressing this button, the toast will display and we will redirect to this next activity. So you see, press the submit button, toast, and we redirect to the next activity. As the next activity is, so you see this blank screen. Don't worry. Now I want to show you something interesting. Let's run this again. You can cut this into text, right? Okay. You have seen in other apps, the edit text input field is much more beautiful than this. So how do you do that? Let's try to retain. This was the edit text. Just whatever you write, it will be there. Just wrap it up with this text input field. That's the input layout. Sorry, text input layout. Yes, everything should be there. Wrap content. Sorry. And it's whatever you can cut it and insert that. Control V. You need an ID for this, so ID. Yes, text. And we see this error line, what it says. You can see this view is not constant, right? This view is not constant, so let's constrain it at first. Or you can just cut it from here. No issues. Do anything you want. Now it is constraint. This is the edit text that we have. This is the text input layout we have created. Okay, here is this another error. The top of the button. Okay, I'm showing you here in the design. You can see something is wrong. So you can see the constraint of this button. Top, you can delete this top constraint. Do this, bring it below this thing. Yeah. And from top, put something like 50, more 50 degrees. 100 degrees. No issues. That's good. Yeah. So it is very simple for this thing. Okay, replace this thing with text input. Edit text. So let's see how it looks like. It match wrap content, anything you want, anything. That's the main thing is that edit text should be within this text input field. The edit text should be within this text input layout to get this nice effect. So, okay, height. Why so much height? Why is there so much? I just cut it from here. Here, let's see what happens. Yes, now it's beautiful. Let's run this and see what happens. It is still not built. Run. Yeah. So this is the new edit text we have obtained. This is the hint showing return name. Just write something. It's floating hint. You can write anything. That's the floating hint you see. That's the design number one. There's another design called field button. So field box. Very simple. No need to do anything. Style. Field box. I think the style is called. Yes. Field box. This is the field box. Let's try. Nothing. Still running. Install. It's no difference at all. There should be out. There is, so not field box. There is outline box. Let's try to run it. Two things. The first one you saw was field box, and there is outline box. So it is. Yeah, you see this outline box. This beautiful outline around the. Now this you try to do this thing. That's awesome, right? Great. Heat is not disappearing, it is not floating, rather it is penetrating on the boundary of this edit text. It's in many popular apps where they are written phone number and the enter phone number text gets this. Let's do something. Enter the names. We proceed to this activity, right? So I think edit text, we covered the edit text, how to do this. There are many things apart from edit text you see. I told you here. Okay. This takes many things. Plain text, password, password. They are basically the same. The only difference they are having is here. This input field. This input type. When you say text person name, so it, the keyboard that pops up contains alphanumeric characters, alphabets, as well as numerical. If you phone numbers, so phone numbers don't require alphabets, just numbers. So let's see how it just phone. The difference between the keyboard. So, but the keyboard. Now the keyboard contains only the numbers, the phone numbers, all everything that you need. There will be other types like passwords and all. You can see passwords. That will be dots, post dots. Let's done it. So see, password. What does password contains? Password contains alphabets, numbers, but password is it should get encoded like this. That's the beauty of using this password as an input type. So this was everything about edit text. You need to know one was simple edit text. From here, we just field. We got this weight field outline using this text input layout. You can do, you cannot do. Better customization. There is another beautiful thing of using this text input layout. You can number of letters. You can insert counters. See, I counter how many digits, how many counter inability. This counter maximum length puts factors at maximum. How you can see the counter. You see nice counter. As you enter text, counter increases. So after you overflow from the limit, it shows you an error in everything. That's a, there are many things you can do in this text input layout. I hope it is clear. If it is clear, we will move to this next section of ListView. Tell me in the chat whether it's clear or not. Okay, stream is lagging. I understand. The use my internet. Guys, let me know if this is clear or not. If it is clear, we'll move to this next section of ListView. Okay. So, Guys, can you hear me? I'm not getting any response from your side. Hello? Okay. It is clear that in edit text I showed you that how to take input fields from the user. You get everything in this GitHub repository I'll share with you. No issues. Just tell me if you have any doubts in this edit text. Okay, voice is like it's showing my it's unstable over here. All the time it's not letting from my side. Don't know what's going on. Okay, so let's move forward with this recycle list view as I told earlier. Yeah, try disabling your video. Okay, is it audible? Clearly audible now? Okay, this is the main stuff of this entire session. That is this list view. Show me Android list view. But this, yes. In Android, there are two libraries that makes use of the list view. One is the list view itself, and another one is this view. In the earlier versions of Android, developers used the list view library, but it has some disadvantages. It's a long list, and you want to display it. So if you look carefully, your app at a time can maximum display 5 to 6 items or 6 to 7 items as per the height of your device. It doesn't display 1,000 items. Once you start scrolling, it's views below it starts appearing one by one. So in the earlier version that the list view is you load all the views, all the 1,000, 10,000, how many, all items that you have in the array is load at a time. It was jerky. As slow, it was very much resource consuming, memory was not proper. After a few years, Google came up with this very amazing library called this Recycler View. I admit that the lines of codes in Recycler View are insane. You have to write more codes in Recycler View, but it has an advantage. It is very memory efficient, very fast, and it doesn't load everything at once. Suppose you have a list of 1,000 items, 10,000 items. So Recycler View will only load those items, suppose only 5 or 6 items that you can see at a time in your device. It doesn't load everything. Once you start scrolling, the views that goes outside, as you can see, the views that go outside of this, that gets scrolled up, gets recycled again to the below. Means just the holders, the containers get recycled, the views inside the containers are changed and are shown from below. I think I'm not making this clear. Let me make it again. So suppose you have opened the app, you will see the list of 5 or 6 items first. Once you scroll one item up, that item will disappear from the screen because it has been scrolled up, the topmost item. The container will be there, the views will get removed from it, the container will again brought back to the bottom, new view will be inserted in the container, and this container will be showed in this view from below. So it is somewhat recycles the views that are not used, the containers that are not used anymore. So it is very much efficient, memory efficient also, time efficient, and very fast also. So let's see in code how to write recycler view. But the disclaimer is in recycler view, you have to write lots of code. So that's the problem. So let's get to coding. We need a recycler view, right? Okay, in the first text and buttons. In the second activity, we'll show you the list. So let's recycler view. What will be the height of the recycler view? Height we don't know. Height should be the wrap content. It will be wrap match parent, make it match parent, height make it wrap content. And what about the And what about the constant? Let's make the constant as it is here, here, here. So the constants are done, the width height is done, let's give it ID recycler view. Yeah. We're done with this recycler view. Let's go back to our coding. So we're in this Kotlin file. Let's use this recycler view. So how to use that? At first we need a list, right? We want to display the list, so at first we need a list. So let's make an array list. Value array list are dynamic size, you can increase, decrease, whatever you want. To array list. At first it's an empty array. We want an add of string. Suppose we want to display strings only. That's solution. Change to function. What's this? Yeah. Is the error still? What error it is? Okay. So let's what type of error it is? It is not able to get this. Wait a minute. There's this messy error over here. Oh, the private thing over here. Yeah, that's the private thing. Okay. At first, let's populate this array list. Let's put some items in this array list. So populate this array list. Make a function. So I have made a function. I'll write the function here. Open populate array list. So what it will do? It will just insert element into this array list. So let's add some elements. Array list dot add hello everyone. This is the first element we've added. You can keep on adding elements like this. Add as many elements as you want, any different strings. I have just written some strings before this session. I'll just copy and paste them to save our time. So I have found some good quotations over this internet and copied them. Let's copy it in our post. So we have added 30 items in our array list. So see, everything's added. So let's come here. We are now here. So we haven't populated the array list, and now we want to display. Suppose display the list. How do we display this? We will make use of the recycler view that we have done here. So let's make this recycler. So recycler view. We want to at first we have to tell recycler view the views will get displayed horizontally, vertically, or in grid format. In which format you want. So suppose we want to at first display vertical. So we have to set the layout manager. Set layout manager. What is this? Forget this. Sorry. So we have this layout manager, layout manager. We want to set the linear. At first, on display the things in linear layout. Drop it down vertical. You can see from here text, context. So will this one context int and boolean. The context is the reference of the activity we are using. The second activity we are using. So that reference is this. So this was our context. Now it needs. Let's check what it needs. One more is called vertical or horizontal. So we'll use this one. And we want to display it in reverse order or normal order. So we want to display it in our normal order top to bottom. So it should be false. This parameter is for reverse layout. If we set it to true, then the items will get displayed in reverse order, that is bottom to top. We don't want that. We want top to bottom. So we have set this layout manager context, vertical, and this. Okay. We have to set this adapter. The logic that I told you here, how it recycles. Where's the logic that I told you here, that the items that goes up gets recycled and put below in the list. So for this logic, we have to write an adapter class, another class, just a simple Kotlin class. For that, let's put it here at first. We have to set the adapter at first. Recycler dot set adapter equal to. So let's create an activity. Not activity. This time no activity. Just a simple Kotlin file. No activity needed. Give it any adapter. Any name you want. I have my adapter. So for this adapter, recycler view to adapter should reference that adapter we have created. My adapter we have created just now. My adapter, I need to pass this context of this class, that is this, and the array list that we want to inflate. So array list. This is the entire thing you initialize recycler views with. Everything is done over here. The only thing that is left is filling up this adapter, right? One more thing I forgot to tell, how will each view look like, right? We have to also tell the recycler view how we want to display each view. It's image, then text. How will each view look like? So let's create a view. Come over to layout. Let's create a design. How will each item look like? So let's make a design. Not this. Give any name you want. I have written single item as the name. Now, I want to create some designs over here. So how do I create designs? Any design you put, I just put a text. You just do it. I have to display a string in each item. So let's do this. This. I don't want the right one. This. From the left, let's say 20 dp, not 20, 15 dp from the left. From the top, let's make it 10 dp. Now, let's give colors to this text. Let the colors be default. Increase the text size. Where is this text size? Text size here. Make it 16. Yeah, we're good to go. So we have a constraint layout. Inside constraint layout of text view. Let's give the ID. Suppose anything. Let it be string. Any name you can give. It's up to you. So we have a text field inside a constraint layout. But I want another thing. But I want, suppose, more customization, more beautiful design. So I'll use a card view instead of just constant layout. So no worries. Whatever you have written, it will be there. Just write card view at the top. Whatever is there, copy this, paste it here, and everything that you have done so far, cut it and paste it inside that card view. Inside this card. It's not limit and rest to the studying. Remove these things. So we have this card view. Inside card view, there is a constant layout string. Okay. Make the height is wrap count. Put some paddings. Do we need paddings? Okay. One card and there's another card. We want a gap between them, right? When the cards will be displayed in list view, so between the cards, I want a gap. So let's put a margin top. 10 dp margin top. No problem. And what about the margin left and right? Let's put margin left also 10 dp margin left. You can do this from your design tab also, from your code also, whatever you can. I'm doing it from here. Margin left, put it 15 dp. Margin right. Also put it 15 dp, whatever you want. Let's give some padding. 10 dp. You can always play with these things when you have time. I think for now we are done with this, how each item will look like. So that is done. Let's come back to the adapter. We have done this Kotlin file. We have created everything we need. We have used this XML also, where we have defined this recycler view. We have made also how each view look like. So the only file remaining is this adapter. And this is the most complicated thing that we'll ever come across in Kotlin. After this, everything will be very simple in Kotlin. This is the only thing that Kotlin has lots of boilerplate code. So this is a normal class. What is basis code? You look here what I have passed. I have passed an object, there is context, another array list as the parameter of this constructor, right? We have passed as parameters, so we have to hold it from here. So how to write constructors in Kotlin? After class definition, put this parenthesis and write what you have written, val context. These are the type context. And there's another parameter that is array list. The data type of array list is array list itself, array list of strings. So we have completed the constructor. In Kotlin, you can initialize the constructors just with the class definition itself. Okay, so we have two parameters in this constructor. Now the actual thing starts. We need a view holder. The container that I talked to you earlier here. Actually, the containers contains views. Just like you have letters, you put your letters in an envelope. Similarly, you put your views inside this container. These containers are called view holders. So you put your views inside the view holders. When the view holders come outside of the screen, the views are removed from the view holder. The view holders are again put back at the end of the list. New views are inserted in the same view holder and it's shown in the list. So the views are not recycled, but the view holders are recycled. So we need a view holder here. So how to do view holders? Very easy. Need another class, make it class. I have make it another name. Suppose I'm giving it my view holder. What parameters will it take? It will take a view item view. It takes of the type view. It has one super class. It takes view holder. View dot view holder. Initialize this thing. You have written here initialize. Oh, initialize. We have defined the view holder. No more inside this view holder just enough. Why is it coming here? back. We have done the viewer part. Now adapters, the logic that we said earlier, that it will be, how do you do that? How do you do that? That's the question. So just like we extend it here, we have this as the subclass, this will be the subclass, and this is the superclass of this one. This view holder extends the view holder that is written already in this recycler. So recycler, you understand, okay, I have to use this view holder for this list. Similarly, for this adapter, we have also this recycler view, that recycler view, listen, you don't have to use your adapter, rather you come here and use this adapter. So how do you do that? How do you tell recycler view to use this adapter? You can extend the recycler view adapter, recycler view adapter, mention these things. Get into this complexity of these details. You will understand these things bit by bit later in these sessions. So what are these? Don't try to understand for now. So in this adapter, we need to pass this view holder. So how do you pass this view holder? Very easy. I'll click this once this is done. Yeah, we're done. We have written view holder, we have written adapter. But you see, a beautiful error line is shown in Android Studio. It says implement methods. This recycler views has lots of abstract methods already defining it in the class, right? This class already exists inside recycler view. We are inheriting that class, so we have to also inherit the methods written over there. So it is saying implement methods. Click on this. So you see there are three methods we have to implement. There is onCreate, onBind, getItemCount. So select all of them and play code. So this is lot of code, I know. We have to implement this thing. One function, two functions, three functions. Lots of boilerplate code, I know. It's too much overwhelming. When I started, it took me 2-3 days to understand what's going on. But there's no other way around. You have to understand this. So we start from the very easy function. This is the very easy one. We want to get this item count, very easy. How to get item count? Return array list dot size. That is the item count. This is the easiest one. This bind view holder will write all our logics. We'll write, this is the main thing. This is the thing we actually use in our program, and everything is boilerplate. You can just copy paste from other projects. It looks the same, basically the same for every project. This thing I have to say recycler view. Okay, recycler view. This is the single item I have created. You have to use this one. This one as your each view. So how do you do that? Very easy again. Return this view holder I have created here. My view holder. Then what we need? We need context, I guess. Yeah. You want to inflate the layout inflator on whatever context you've got, pass the context. Don't try to understand for now. I'm telling you again and again. You will get to know it once you are done. Then what more do we need? Dot inflate. How to inflate? It takes one. We want to inflate this design that we have created. How do you do that? Just give the name of this design. How r dot layout dot single item and comma. It takes view group, that is the parent and a false. We don't want in reverse order. We want the top to bottom order. So that is the entire thing. Just don't try to get in this complexity. Just only know this, that this function does nothing but tells the recycler view that we have to use this custom design we have created. That's the entire purpose of this thing. Even if you don't understand these lines, it's fine. You can always come back to it later. Why this is error line over here? This has a constructor and must be initialized. Okay, this then we have an initialized here. easy. Let's do this. It's initialized. We have done this thing. We have done this thing. The only thing is remaining is here. It is the most important and the simplest one. We have done this thing. This a text view. Now we will insert text in this text view. You can see it takes a view holder and a position as parameter. So from position we can get the string from this array list. So you can get str from this array list. So array list the position. So you have now got the string from this array list. Now we want to display this text in the text view. The text view that we have created here. So what was the name? Its name was TV string. It was in the view holder. So holder dot item view dot TV string that we have written dot text equal to str. We have got the string from this array and we have displayed it in this holder. I think we are done with this adapter. Everything is done. We have made a view holder. We have implemented 3 functions and we are good to go. Let's run this app and let's see how it looks like for now. So developers nowadays don't try all these things. Better alternative to all these things that is ZPack Compose. You don't have right. But for Android exam, we are asked to specifically show this XML students. We are doing this. I think the app is installed on this app. So this was the first activity we had. After entering, will be returned to second activity. So submit. This is the entire that you can see. You can scroll. The items that are getting out of the view from the top are again recycled and put at the bottom of the screen, at the bottom of the list. So fast, you can just scroll it as much as you want. Now that's the basic functionality of recycler view. It doesn't look good, right? The views can be much better much better. So let's put some designing, do some design on this. Let's put some. How do you do this? It will be here only. Itself in this on bind folder. How to put colors? This ID to this layout, constant layout. Given this ID, we can give any color we want. Layout dot. In this format, at first at folder has item view. The item view has this layout. This I got hold of this reference. Now set background, not set background. I think set background color. So color. I showed you in this earlier session. Color dot first color. Once you have a hexadecimal colored string, you can easily display them. I have written some strings for you. These are the strings I have written for you. Let's use these strings for now. This is the entire list of strings. Suppose I have used this string. Put it and use this string as the color. Let's see how it looks like. And okay, so it's launching, right? And then go to that activity. Yeah, green color. You can see the green colors every. Make it more interesting. Instead of green, I want to use all the colors, random colors. We did in the previous session colors, so make these colors random also. Colors will be random on these cards. How do you do that? Okay, random function. And the end is color array colors. So here hex. In code val v equal to x or size. You get the size. Okay, you want to get all the you want to function from here, random index. Yes. Get some random index from, then get the color of that index and display it in the layout. So random will be 0 to n minus 1 and it will look better. 0 to n minus 1 dot random. All the numbers within 0 to n minus 1 inclusive and get the random of that range. So you've got a random index with the random color. Array element at that index. So how to do that? Array element at that index. X at that index. So we got this random element, random index. From random index, we extracted the color, and we want to set this background color to that extracted color. We are good to go. Let's run it. Let's see how random color looks like. So the app, write something. Yeah, see the random colors is looking a little bit much better. If you press back and enter again, more random colors will appear because the colors are not hard coded, it's random. It's looking better. So can we customize it more? Yes, of course, we can customize it more. If the cards we can put yes, we can give shadows and all. So do this here. Like radius, we want to put a radius of 7 radius. Radius all the corners. Let's put elevation. This elevation will give a shadow appearance. So elevation suppose 15 dp. Okay. This working or not. Yeah, it is lost. So let's submit. Now you can see these beautiful shadows if you look carefully. The cards have shadows now and the you see radius scroll button. You can see the corner radius beautifully split. Now customized make it look a little bit much better. Okay, if you see the text are getting away from here because you have to be right constraint. So let's write constraint. This text view text yes. We have mentioned left constraint. Let's mention the right constraint also. We have mentioned the right also. We'll mention yeah. Let me this. There is a so left padding button. Let's put the margin left from here. Margin left. Margin right. 5 dp. This thing. There is one thing also called match constraint. It is also otherwise known as 0 dp. When you mention 0 dp, it is not actually 0 dp, but it is actually matching the constraint that you have put. Let's try to run it. I'm not seeing any difference. It should show. My phone got locked. Let's get inside it. the texts are no longer getting cut out from the right. It's getting displayed beautifully. But I think something is missing. Okay, can you make much more better? Means in just this vertical thing, can you make it horizontal? You can. You don't need to do anything else. Where you build linear layout, here you have mentioned this vertical. You can also mention horizontal. You want it will be horizontal. See, just in horizontal fashion. So you can see this horizontal scrolling. You know, everything horizontal. So can it make it into grid? Make it. Replace this thing. Do anything else? It will be here. Replace it grid layout. Instead of linear layout, replace this grid layout. Grid layout and in the grid you need to mention the number of columns you want. Or 2 columns in each row. Let's run this. You see, it looks nice, but I think that are somewhat not getting aligned. It looks very good, much better than before. But this text, I have some problems. Why taking match peg margins also? But over here. This problem. More than that. It is content. Content, match print, match print. That's perfect. Let's investigate this latter. I want to show you what you have. Let's do this. Linear layout. You've also seen grid layout. Now I'll very interesting layout called. Oh boy, what's going on? Oh, all these things. The grid layout that you saw. See, all in each row, both the cards on the left and the right have same height. If you see carefully, they have the same height. The card right, they have same height. Now there's a thing called this staggered layout. Staggered layout. Text is okay. Control. Comment this right. Layout manager. What it says context. So context means this. Then it takes orientation means no columns. Sorry, no. It takes span and orientations. Number of columns and orientation is what will orientation? Orientation is vertical. Not vertical. Let's see how it looks like now. it's still running. So let's submit things. Now you see this of this staggered layout. Now in each row, the left and the right are not aligned, yet they are so beautiful. You can see. This is the amazing thing you have. Okay. Also do many creative stuffs over here. Them like this. Something is fishing this layout. I'm seeing from the very beginning. From the left, it has less margin. From the right, the material has lots of gap. Why is that? Can you not? No, we don't want margin. Nothing for this right margin. We want for the margin, and we want what's this text. Come to the bottom of margin left, margin right, everything is fine, yet it is not showing up. Let's fix this, make it match print for now. Fix this up. Is everything all right? If you put 10 dp, what happens? See, if we put 10 dp over here, 0 dp, nothing is happening. I don't know what is wrong with this for now. Let's keep it as it is. And make it wrap. So another thing that I wanted to show you is how can you further customize these things. How you can add font to this. So how do you add font in Android Studio? Let's run it and let's see. Then I'm showing you how to download this font. Sorry. Get it. Let's this font. Let's go to download fonts. There are lots of fonts you can download from. See, there are also fonts. If you want any font, click on it. It will show download option. Select the font you want. It's regular one, regular style. And there's this download all. If once you download this button, download this font, it gets downloaded into your system, just like I'm showing you. Then you can import it directly to the project. I have downloaded it last night, so I have downloaded this font. So you can copy, Control C, come to the font folder, create it. If you have, then you're good to go. Paste it inside that folder. Everything in small letters. Everything should be in small letters. Fine. .ttf is the extension for font folders. When you see .ttf, it means it's a font. So in this font, how to use font, right font. This extension is font folder, and this is the font that we want to use. Let's run our app and let's see what happens. I think it's not installation, but it's still. Oh boy, this Android Studio is doing crazy things. Neither launching, not doing anything. That's the timing. Fix it. Clicks off. What's the problem? Why is it stuck? Whenever you find something in your Android Studio stuck, just inherit cache and restart. Are you sure you want to stop them and exit? Yes, I have to exit. It will get restarted in much fresh and you will get a lot of speed. All the caches will be cleared. So let's wait for 30 seconds or 1 minute. And this is the last thing that we are having, this font. After this font, I'll just conclude the sessions for now. Okay, so it's starting. Okay, about the adapters, I have to say, if you are learning, then for the first time, you try to implement this adapter from the scratch. Second time also try to implement this adapter from the scratch, and after that, you don't need to write adapters again and again. As all the adapters are same, you can easily go back to your old projects, copy the adapters from there, paste it in your project, because it will save you a lot of time. All the adapters are the same, just the data type is different, the array list data types. And that's it. Just for learning purpose, you can do things from scratch. We don't do this. It's a waste of time, I will say. So everything is building. It will take somewhere around 1 minute or so. That's strange. Why is this Android Studio doing like this? It's always getting stuck over here. So let it. Any queries you can leave in the chats. I'll be taking the queries after just 2 or 3 minutes. I'll ask you guys to any confusion. I will attach the link of this GitHub repository so that you can always go back and get help from there. I don't know, this today is not working today for me. Many queries, let it build. I'll take your queries for now. If you have any. Yes, I'm running it directly on my physical device. Lot of my emulator doesn't work fine all the time. Physically. And it's another advantage of using physical is eat up your RAM on your laptops. It's another advantage. Yes, I'll see the repository link. It's already there. Any other have anything cycler use and all? I know it's a little bit overwhelming start, but once you use this in a I want you become very much comfortable with it. That's all. It's running. It's fine. Any other questions or doubts regarding this? No questions, I guess. This Android is taking fun. I guess today's unlucky day for me. Yeah, I think it's almost over. The building is over. Let's try to run it again. And let's see if everything is fine or not. Okay. Things have come. Everything is fine now. Let's try to run it. What's I don't know what is happening today? Lots of issues are coming. To monitor this. So let's apps. So uh, okay, this the text is small. Let's increase the font of this text. The text size make it 18. Instead of using this regular use text. When you down type or two text on its regular and on bold, it's called bold. It's in this font fold. Underscore bold, bold one. And yes, how it is now. Taking again to run code. Frustrating for today. Yes. So let's see again. Our present card view. See, this is looking so beautiful. Colors are red. You can go back and press again. The colors will be randomly selected, and the text font display. Enough demonstration how powerful a recycler view can be. And the only complexity is in the adapters. Adapter you can just play with things. It's reflect in any model that you find any type of list view. Suppose scrolling through you, that is a recycler view. You are scrolling through 45 pages, that is recycler view. Any view that you can scroll in this list format in Android is written using recycler view. So you can also have some experiments, make some crazy stuff, and implement this on your own. We're going to wrap up the session for now. Please on an USB cable connect only to USB drive. You need just USB cable, the charger cable there, just and put it in a port in your phone. Connect it using that USB cable. You're good to go. You don't need any drivers. Yeah, the repository link I'll be sharing with you, and any more queries, I don't think LEDs have left. Only 4 LEDs are there. I think we'll have the session for today. So, guys, so and anybody is there on our WhatsApp group and Discord, you always feel free